On today's show, we got to talk about a story out of Portland, Oregon, with a woman confronting Antifa and these folks who are rioting against ICE. We also have to talk about a couple of stories out of Texas, where officers, ICE agents, were ambushed, and yeah, absolutely crazy stuff in those two situations. But before we get into that, let's talk about this Portland, Oregon situation of this lady who confronted these folks because they were making a ruckus and making a whole bunch of noise in the middle of the night. You guys may have seen this clip because it went kind of viral, but check it out.
Oh my God. Turn that down! It's midnight! I will turn it down. I would love to. You just have to ask me, and I'm being nice even though you're screaming at me. You! Okay. I'm coming back every night! I'm destroying and wrecking your shit! Turn it down! We the people need sleep! I've been up 2 days straight protecting your dogs, baby. You heard what I said, bitch!
Talking to us calmly would be a hell of a lot better than
Yourself!
Go yourself!
Decolonize your
Go yourself, bro. I don't give a fuck. Stick that cane up your ass.
Make it! Come on! I'm ready to go!
The first domino falls, right? You know what happens?
Jail!
You know what happens when the first domino falls?
Down!
Don't get mad.
I'm telling you to shut the fuck up! I'm sleeping!
Hey guys, let's let another
Think you
neighbor
are?
talk. Let's let another neighbor talk.
So this lady here, apparently she lives close to where all of this went down. And I want to, I had her account name because I want to give her a shout out. Numerark right here on X is her account name, and I'll post it here in just a second. But she apparently found out where these folks were operating out of. Yeah, they basically were using some liberal guy's apartment room or place, and she figured out where it actually was. Check out this clip. So you can see there, this is where they were going in and out of. Capitalism destroys democracy is the sign that they have outside of there.
ICE is over there, not over here. ICE is that way. We ain't got shit to do with it. And I'm getting tired of this bullshit.
The piece.
Take ICE is that another way. It's not over here.
So that's another resident that lives in the area that's tired of these folks yelling and screaming all day. And he thinks the person behind the camera is one of them. So he's like trying to tell them, yo, they're down the other way. I'm tired of this. They're not around here, you know, which is what you hear in the background.
Dude.
Why you motherfucker done took out the bus stop?
Do you think I'm one of the protesters?
What?
Do you think I'm one of the protesters?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm not one of the protesters. I'm actually doing a story about the protest down here. The apartment right here is actually where the protesters keep coming in and out, and that they're going down here. Yeah, that's where that's where one of the residents of the buildings here identified the protesters are going in and out of this apartment right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just doing a
He's
story.
being evicted.
Huh?
He's being evicted.
He's being evicted?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what I'm just doing a story on. That's all. I'm not a protester, man.
Yeah, they can't. I'm just tired of it.
I-
They shoot that tear gas. This come over here, and now we getting tear gas. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys shouldn't have to deal with any of it.
Exactly.
And you guys, I don't know if you were out here during the last time the campments were out here, but you guys shouldn't be putting up with any of that.
Every year they do shit every year, and
So yeah, the residents are sick of those folks. Absolutely sick of them. But here's another view of the entire situation that they had going on there. Right there. But I guess apparently the guy that actually was renting this out is getting evicted, but we know how evictions work in liberal places, in blue states and liberal cities. It's going to take quite a long time to evict someone. So I'm assuming in this situation, I believe there's actually a video of the gentleman that basically allowed these leftist Antifa folks to stay in here. But what I'm assuming happened is he realized he was being evicted and just said, you know what, I'm going to let these folks just stay in here while they're protesting. I don't care. I'm going to dip out somewhere else. That's what I'm assuming happened. But guess what? Numerar, excuse me. She posted that she was going to take legal action against the city because nobody was coming in to stop this nonsense. The city and the police were just allowing these folks to just create a ruckus every single night, all night, and nobody could get any sleep because what it looked like, and maybe I'll show you guys one of those videos, is they were doing this stuff in shifts. Like they were swapping in and out people. Some folks would leave, some folks would come in, you know, like they were doing this stuff like a full-time job. So there was always people out there making a bunch of noise. Well, after the city caught wind that they might get sued and this story kind of went a little viral, this is what happened next.
Shut the fuck up. Fucking feel proud or what?
Remember that sign? Capitalism destroys democracy? Same place.
Video of them entering without a warrant.
Actually, I believe that's the guy right there.
Did they come inside?
Yeah, they went inside without a warrant.
So they ran in the place and found one of the folks and arrested him. Love to see it. Love to see it. So I think it's safe to say that they won't be using that place to run their operations out of anymore. But on to the next couple of stories that I wanted to talk about. Some absolutely disgusting stories in a situation where ICE agents were ambushed.
Authorities provided new details about an ambush attack on officers at an immigration detention facility in North Texas. A police officer was shot in the neck outside the detention center in Alvarado Friday. Fox 4's Amelia Jones in studio with the latest tonight. Amelia.
Clarice, the Alvarado police officer who was shot is expected to recover. The Department of Justice says this marks the 5th assault on law enforcement officers in the Northern Texas district this year. Nearly a dozen people are now facing multiple federal charges.
Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
Monday, the Department of Justice shared new details on a shooting at the Prairie Land Detention Center in Alvarado, south of Fort Worth. Officials say around 10:30 p.m. on July 4th, a group of 10 to 12 people dressed in black military-style clothing shot off fireworks and vandalized the facility.
They engaged in the graffiti, they damaged vehicles and a guard structure. The graffiti had such words as traitor, ice pig, other profanity.
Officials say this was a ruse to draw out the ICE personnel, and it worked. 2 unarmed corrections officers went to speak with the vandals. Meanwhile, the group signaled a gunman nearby. Alvarado police responded to a 911 call at the facility. When the officer got there, he was shot in the neck, and another assailant fired 20 to 30 rounds at the unarmed corrections officers. When the suspects fled the scene, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office stopped a vehicle leaving the detention center.
There was a single driver in that vehicle. The sheriff deputy saw in plain sight a firearm. Another firearm was in the back seat. And there were 2 Kevlar ballistic style vests also in that vehicle.
According to court documents, this driver told the sheriff deputy he met some people online and took them from Dallas to the detention center to, quote, make some noise. On the detention center property, sheriff deputies stopped 7 individuals near where the Alvarado police officer was shot.
Some were wearing body armor, some were covered in mud, some were armed, and some had two-way radios on them.
When authorities searched the area, they found more body armor, spray paint, and flyers with anti-ICE messaging.
Over the course of the weekend, additional related searches occurred. We found masks, goggles, tactical gloves. One residence of one of the defendants, there was additional body armor. There was a cache of 9 additional weapons, spray paint, fireworks, and again, insurrectionist material.
The Department of Justice charged the 10 suspects with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer and 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. An additional co-conspirator is charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy for attempting to conceal and destroy evidence in relation to the attack. He faces up to 10 years in prison.
This will not be tolerated. Those who use violence against law enforcement officers will be found and they will be prosecuted with the toughest criminal statutes and penalties that we have available to us.
Court documents show that 9 of the people arrested were from North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Kennedale, and Waxahachie. The other was from College Station.
Yeah, crazy stuff, but that's not the only one. I know, as crazy as that story sounded, there was another ambush, okay? Take a look at what's on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. ICE agents targeted in 2 ambush attacks in recent days.
Led by the FBI after yet...
For us this afternoon. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Martha, this is still an active investigation led by the FBI after yet another attack on federal agents involved in immigration enforcement. The attacker opened fire early this morning outside a Border Patrol annex in McAllen in what Fox is told was clearly a planned ambush. Border Patrol agents and local police returned fire, hitting and killing the shooter, who was armed with an assault rifle.
There were many dozens of rounds fired by the suspect towards a building and towards agents in that building.
The Border Patrol facility was left riddled with bullet holes. One McAllen police officer was hit in the knee by either a bullet or shrapnel. Police identified the shooter as Ryan Lewis Mosqueda, 27 years old, with links to Texas and Michigan. The McAllen attack follows 2 violent incidents at ICE facilities. On July 4th in Alvarado, Texas, a police officer was shot in the neck after several people opened fire on officers outside the Prairieland Detention Center. The officer was treated and released. And there was also another attack on an ICE facility in Portland, Oregon Friday night, a facility that has been the site of an ongoing protest for several weeks.
We're pulling agents off of regular duties now to harden our securities at our facility to make sure that we're on a heightened state of alert in order to prevent these attacks from continuing. And these are pulling those agents off of what they should be doing, which is out enforcing the law.
All of these attacks, Martha, remain under investigation tonight. Martha?
Okay, Jonathan, thank you very much.
Crazy stuff. So have escalated from peacefully protesting, right, to actually attempting to take an agent's life, an officer's life. That is absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. You know, it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And of course, Democrats aren't going to come out and, condemn any of this. They aren't going to turn down their rhetoric, of, oh my goodness, the whole panic stuff that they always do, because that's what's causing this. That's exactly what's caused. Oh my goodness, Trump's Hitler. He's putting people in concentration camps. He's doing. They aren't going to turn that down, nor will they ever apologize. And it's literally getting people shot. Disgusting stuff, man. Absolutely disgusting stuff. Y'all get in the comments to let me know your thoughts and your opinions on all of this, but hopefully this ends, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.